That's SolidWorks.
I'll run eSprit.
So I'm gonna go to File, New. It's gonna ask me if I want to save my changes. I'm just gonna hit no. So here we go. I'm gonna draw my first line. I'm gonna just keep it on my Y0 axis. Click the line, distance 0, enter. Left click to confirm it, and it's sitting there, right? My x-axis, same thing. Now, there's a few different ways to do this radius down here, right? Some people like drawing a line over at 3.5, then another line up 0.6, right? Because that's the radius of it, and they're like making it there, right? Drawing that line, pushing point, and then hitting intersect, so it makes a point there. Then you draw your circle on there, and then you have your circle, right? I'm lazy, so I like taking the easy way out, right? So under your point, we have this Cartesian center, right? So I'm gonna click that, and it's asking me, okay, what's your x value? Or if I look at my print, that x value is 3.5, correct? My y value, obviously the radius of it is 0.6, so that's gonna be 0.6, right? Enter. You guys see how I made that point? Now I can grab my circle, put it there, and on the bottom left-hand corner is asking me, enter my radius, correct? Bottom left-hand corner. That's like your secret window. 0.6. Enter. Too easy. So now,
you just drag it till it touches that line, right?
what?
You just drag that circle till it touches the bottom line.
No, it's gonna be there at 0.6. So it's there. This isn't there?
No, it's there. That's what I'm saying. You can just click the circle and drag it till it touches that line. There's 0.6.
Not really. Because you want to be accurate. So you want to make sure that you have this.
I mean, we just eyeball it.
Alright, so
Main wing style.
with this line up here, I know that it's 3 inches above it, right?
Yes.
So hit the 3, left click to confirm it.
I see a little negative you threw in there.
Alright, are we there? So now if I hit line, and I put my line on my circle, if I rotate it around, it will go all the way around my circle, right? If I just hit 65, that's going to be on a positive plane over here. So that's not what I want to do, right? So I'm going to do it so you guys see it. If I hit 65,
Nope.
look at the angle it took, right? So that is incorrect. So if I click it on here now, but I put negative 65, there it goes. Correct? So now I'm going to trim off my lines that I don't need. This one, this one, this one, this one, that one, and that one. Alright, we got it so far?
Mm-hmm.
So in SolidWorks, it's free. If I come up here to create features, create solid modeler, I get this window that pops up, right? So now I have to highlight my whole part. I'm gonna go back to tools. Make sure I change that to my daughter's pink. Okay. So I'm gonna hit shift, click it. Now I'm gonna hit extrude boss. So what does that look like, guys? Same thing as SolidWorks, right? So I'm gonna extrude the boss, but I'm gonna bring it down here on the negative side of the line. So Z, that would be negative, right? Distance is 1 inch, correct? Leave it under blind. Leave this none. Leave that. We're gonna extrude it as a solid, right? Then hit OK. I messed up, guys. I didn't put this radius on here. Alright. But I think I could just hit that 1.3. So, whenever you mess up on your radius and you already got your model on there, right? So over here, under your solid monitor, you can put a fillet under also, right? So if I push this constant fillet, it's gonna ask me, hey, what size do you want of the radius fillet, correct? So it being there, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna click that line, hit the OK, and it's gonna make it for me. SolidWorks has that too, in case you forget to do it on your sketch. The only bad thing is in SolidWorks, you can just edit your feature. Here, you don't have an edit feature button.
Does that little line right there matter?
No.
Okay.
Like we said, if you wanted to, you could go to New, Geo, which I highly recommend, especially what we're gonna do a little bit later on. Part, their name, part solid. So obviously this part is going to be in the part solid, and the lines are going to be in Geo, but it's not necessary right now that we do. So now the same thing goes for this extrusion, right? We could do it two ways. I could draw a line here, put a point intersecting. Well, why do that if I could just go to point, right? And put the Cartesian in it, correct? The Cartesian.
Because Cartesian is not like Cartesian.
Alright, so I'm gonna hit F7. I'm gonna go to point. That point is at X 1.2.
And Y 1.4.
There we go. Boom.
Ta-da.
I got my point right there.
Just circle. 1 inch diameter circle.
So, click my circle again. Come over here. It's asking for my radius, so that my radius is 0.5. Enter. Now, for me, SolidWorks is more. These guys pull out a tape measure and they were measuring each other's head.
Wow.
Let me do it.
Can't fix stupid.
Yeah. I'd rather be code than. Alright, so in this screen, I would rather put a point there and make sure I know exactly where I'm at, correct? So there's a few ways of doing this. If I grab my line and I put it there and I hit 0, it does that angle, right? Then if I put that line and I hit 90 for 90 degrees, it makes that one too. Correct? If I wanted to take it a step further, go to point, hit intersect. Okay, intersecting where? From here to here. See how I made that point? Right? I'm going way above, you know, because there's different ways of doing this. But I'm just showing you the different ways of doing it, right? I could have put X 1.7, Y 1.4, and it would have done that point right there too. Does that make sense? So now I got my line. I put it on here. Anytime it hits a point, it automatically asks you at what angle do you want, right? So obviously I can't say, hey, from here, go this distance or whatever, because there's a point in the screen, right? But if I draw a line up and down, and then if I wanted a feature going that way, then I'm able to do it, right? But if it asks for a point, it's not gonna let it. So 45 took me the wrong direction, correct? So what do I have to do?
Rewind and go negative.
Negative 45, right?
Or just for that other line.
There I go.
Oh,
So,
save line.
trim out what I don't need, right? Anytime you extrude something, if you got extra lines on there, it is not gonna like it, right? And the good thing, the only like real plus that you have in soldered spring is that I could click the lines that I want to extrude and go based off of that and extrude it. Does that make sense? So now, I know that I want to extrude that one, but look what happens if I start trying to click it. It's not letting me, right? So what do I gotta do? Sub elements and hide.
Hi.
So now if I hit down shift, I click that line. Now it's telling me, hey, do you mean this face? Right click for no. Do you mean the solid? No. Do you mean that line? Left click, yes.
See.
Obviously, if I have my solid under my part solid, I could have just taken off my part solid and only the geo would have been there, right? So like I said, there's multiple ways of doing this, guys. There's not just one way. That's just the easier, quicker way that I found to do this, right? All right, now I'm gonna want to extrude off of that, right? So now I'm gonna go to extrude. So if I see it, it's highlighting here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's my distance?
Half inch.
0.1, right?
Point
If I
five?
click this,
0.5. You said 0.1.
Okay,
You meant
0.5. put that right. You know what I mean.
Point half one.
If I click this reverse, that takes it in it, right? But what's the point of doing that? Because it's already a solid, correct? So it needs to come out, right? Now, here's the other important thing, guys. Make sure you pay attention to this. Stop clicking, because it's not doing it, and stop clicking. Boy, I need to bring the chancla. I don't know what the chancla is. Show y'all what the chancla is. Alright, here. If I just push OK right now, it's gonna treat this as a solid and that as a solid separate. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So, I need to go to active solid and then hit body 1. When we made the first one, we didn't have a solid at all before. So we didn't have to put nothing. Now that we created the first one, we have to push body 1 so it merges together and it stays attached together. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to do that. But can you do it separately? Yes, you can, but then you don't know if it's gonna be merged or anything like that, right? So, body 1. Left click on it. So it highlighted and it said, hey, this body, yes, okay. Boom. Now we have that also. Breakfast of Champions right here.
Ice cream bun.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast of cholesterol.
And I went to the doctor and they told me nothing's wrong with me. I was like, are you sure? They're like, what? Yes, why? Because I'm fat. That's why. Alright, you ready to move on?
It's giving me a group geometry does not represent simple continuous
Because
group.
you didn't do what I told you to do, that's why.
Golly.
Keep on clicking. Keep on clicking.
Click outside the box.
I told you. Didn't I say this was gonna happen? Did I not? Rock on?
Rocking on.
Alright. So, now guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off my solid. Let me see if I made this in the solid. I think it did because it attached to it. So if I take off that solid, boom, all my lines come out, right? Except for these lines up here. So I'm just gonna highlight them and delete them. Alright, I'm gonna take off my solid and, well, I could keep those there actually. Nah, I'm gonna take them off. Nah, I'm gonna keep them on. It doesn't matter. Alright, so now if I pick part solid, I hit my solid, go to Geo, right click copy, smash, wireframe, boom. Now I have my wireframe of my solid.
Is there not a line on the bottom?
Where?
Oh, there it is. I don't know, it just looked yellow.
Alright, so for this guys, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight this and take it off just so it doesn't confuse, because if you grab the back line, you're gonna have issues for the next thing that we're doing. Alright, so making this cut, it's a lot harder in eSprit than it is in SolidWorks, right? Because in SolidWorks, eSprit, yeah, I could click that plane and make another plane on it, but that's a lot of work to just for that, right? So since we know it's just gonna go from there back down, I'm gonna show you guys this way to do it. So I know that I'm gonna need this line, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna use that line. So if I look at my drawing, I'm gonna make a line from here, over here, 0.25. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where line 2 comes into play. If I hit line 2, let me make a point first. Intersect from here to here. Alright, there's my point, right? If I go to line 2 and I hit that point, I'm gonna take off snap and high. Hit that point. Anywhere that I go here, look, if I click down here, so what happened?
Yeah.
It made it to a 45 on there. Does that make sense? That's what line 2 does. So now that I got that one, I'm gonna hit this line again. I'm gonna go back to line 1, hit that line, and what's my distance? 0.3, right?
Yeah.
0.3. But then from here down,
1.75.
1.75. Now, for this feature that I'm gonna do, all I need is this little box. That's it. So I'm gonna go to keep. I'm gonna keep this one, this one, this one, and that one. This is all I need for the feature that I'm about to do. Right? So I'm gonna highlight it. Turn my solder back on. Right? Now, well, hold on. I gotta make my solid come up first. So I'm gonna grab my solid, right click, copy, translate. I'm gonna move it on my Z axis I'm gonna move it 125 thousandths above Z0 because of that number right there. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna take it Z.125. You guys see how I moved it?
I didn't see where it moved.
Huh?
Where'd it move to? I didn't see it.
It just moved above the line.
Oh, okay.
See how that's my Z0?
Mm.
It just moved 125 thousandths above it. Right? So now, I'm gonna take off my part, highlight this, turn my part on again. You guys see how this is highlighted now?
Mm-hmm.
Go to extrude boss. See how it comes up?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make it go back down. That distance is how much? So that's 1 inch minus 0.125 minus 0.125. So it's 0.75, correct?
Yeah.
0.75. Now, since this is my main solid and I'm cutting on my solid, I have to tell the software, hey, I want you to cut on that. Because if I don't do it, it's gonna make a cut just in random error, right? So I'm gonna tell it right here, activate solid, you're gonna cut on body 1, right? So here, I'm gonna tell it cut. And it's gonna be a cut, correct? Hit OK. Boom.
What about them radiuses?
Remember I told you about the fillet?
Mm-hmm.
So for the radiuses, constant fillet,
So I'm gonna do that later.
0.125, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna tell it this one, this one, that one. Did it unclick the other one? Yeah, it unclicked this one. Hit OK. Boom.
Ta-da.
Now, we're still not done, guys. Yes, our party's done, but we're not on Z0, right?
I gotta move
So,
that down.
what do I have to do? I like to take off my solid and just erase these lines, right? Push that one, turn this one on again, right click, translate. Now we're gonna go negative. The 125 is just gonna take me back down
That far.
to my Z0, right? But I still have this sticking out, correct? So I still have to copy and translate that now, minus 0.5. Now it takes it to where
That box is at the 0.
my line is at Z0. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And now this part is complete too.
Let's draw some trains and
Like
cut
SolidWorks
it.
better.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Everybody says
It took like literally double the time.
Everybody says that. But we see the differences. Now, like I said, guys, a lot of people out there nowadays, they have SolidWorks, and the engineers will tell the drafters how to draw it. So once the drafters draw it, then they send that to the programmer. So the programmer just inputs the drawing, and once you have the drawing, we just make the chains and the lines in the toolpath, right? To be able to cut out the part, and that's it. I mean, SolidWorks is going to be easier because that's their main focus, CAD, right? But unless you get SolidWorks CAD CAM program, you're not going to be able to generate the code because that's just CAD, right? Now, like I said, at the beginning, there was CAD CAM, but everybody realized that, hey, the drawing on this sucks, right? So that's when that guy from MIT in 1995, I forgot what his name is, he developed SolidWorks because he knew there was a problem, right? So now that SolidWorks does the drawing and we can make blueprints out of it, they're like, heck yes, let's draw it in SolidWorks. But still, SolidWorks CAD CAM isn't at the level yet as like Mastercam, GibbsCam, and eSprit towards the CAM software, spitting out the code, right? That's why we have two different ones. Does Does that make sense? Or multiple ones. Because there's, SolidWorks' main competitor is Fusion 360, right? You can take a joint of Fusion and import it in this too. No problem. And you can take SolidWorks and Fusion and import them in Mastercam, GibbsCam, eSprit, Bobcat, NX, any other software also, right? But it really comes down to who you're gonna get the best deal from, to what you're capable of doing, or what you're gonna be doing in your shop. Does that make sense? And what's more affordable? Because yeah, we got the student version of SolidWorks, but I don't even know how much SolidWorks costs for a company just if they want to buy it straight out like that. Maybe that should be some good homework. But it always says, enter your email, contact us, and we'll send you a quote. Nah, buddy, never mind. Because once it gets to that, we're spending thousands of dollars. All right. So go ahead and take your time and do this. It's SolidWorks and eSprit. All right. We finished a little bit early today, lecture-wise, because I know Corey has to leave and Gary needs to leave a little bit early too.